go to Physique 57, which is this sort of elite gym program. Are any of these women stepping back and calling BS on this and saying, like, because it's that you talk about the fact that they're drinking, they're on pills. This doesn't seem to be making them happy.
Well, a couple of things. First of all, I absolutely saw women, self-medicating to deal with stress and anxiety. That is something that I saw. It happens across the country, but I think that it happened in the population I studied quite a bit. And, I implicate myself in that, in the book, and in general. And in terms of stepping back and having irony and insight, of course, a lot of these women did. The women who talked to me about it were the women who had irony and insight and a sense of humor about the culture that they were living in. Plenty of them had a critical distance from it, and plenty of them, while I did see a lot of competition and aggression that I describe in my book, ultimately, I did also see friendship and connection, and just speaking about, kind of assimilating my own adventures with assimilating into this tribe. I really chalk it up to our legacy as primates. We get desensitized in these situations, and we are pro-social and affiliative because that's really our evolutionary heritage. And we want to fit in, and we lose our perspective a little bit. And I think that happens, wherever you live. This can happen when you move to a new community. So I think everybody can relate a little bit to that.
Yeah, running out of time, but I did want to get to one of the sort of lightning rod points that you make in the book. You talk about the wife bonus, and this has been something that's been taken up a lot when people talk about your book. What is the wife bonus?
It's really just a sensationalized or sexy name. A Motherlode columnist recently pointed out for one of the ways women experience or negotiate a way out of their economic dependency. It was one of the things that women told me about when I asked them to tell me about their lives and their culture. And they described it as a financial gift from their husbands, a thank you, a compensation. What's interesting is the way it's been taken up online now. Women are writing, well, I just get a fraction of my husband's bonus automatically. For me, it's a feminist issue that I get this financial compensation. Other women are saying, well, is my Chanel jacket or is my, weekend away sort of a bonus? But yes, this is one of the many things that women describe to me, and I found it one of the less surprising things that women would experience and try to find ways around economic dependency in a marriage, particularly when the husband works and the wife doesn't.
Right, well, it's interesting because I've seen a few feminist commentators on this point say this is actually, part of a long-standing discussion about how we reward domestic work, how we acknowledge the fact that the person who stays at home and makes sure meals are ready and clothes are washed and kids are looked after should be compensated in some sort of way.
That discussion is an interesting one, and I just think what a privilege, to write a book that might be part of a conversation like that, because women are ready to have it. I think we're seeing they're ready to have conversations about whether mothering is, on the one hand, this wonderful undertaking that we send Mother's Day cards for, and we say it's the toughest job you'll ever love, and we admire mothers and we put them on pedestals. And then on the other hand, when somebody says at a party, I'm a full-time mother, a lot of people will just turn away and find it uninteresting. It's culturally degraded work, and I think women are having a conversation now about how to honor that work, and some of them are saying money might be one of the ways to do it. It's fascinating.
The last question, you did focus on this very elite and rarefied group. Do you see things in the story or in the experiences of these women that have a consequence for other families? Does their experience speak to something bigger?
I think it really does. First of all, I think that, as I said, no population is inherently more worthy or less worthy of studying or writing about than any other one. And, it was my personal story, so to me it was worth telling for that reason. But I think there are broader lessons. We talk about, just one example, we talk about power dynamics, aggression, competition in the workplace, and how women can make it work for them. But we don't talk about about the other workplace where, millions of women in Canada and the United States work. And that's the work world of staying at home. The school hallways, the PTA meetings, the playgrounds. Those contexts are really rich places to explore competition, aggression, and cooperation between women of all income levels. So, I think that that's another part of the conversation that's happening that I'm paying close attention to and enjoying.
Thanks so much for talking with me today.
Thank you, Rachel.
Wednesday Martin is the author of Primates of Park Avenue. We reached her today in New York.
Let
Coming up, we'll aim to settle the question once and for all. Is Nicolas Cage great or is he awful? I'm Rachel Giza. Cue's back in a few.
This is CBC Radio 1. The Toronto 2015 Pan Am Games. Witness the struggles and sacrifice, the tears and triumphs, and discover the stars of tomorrow.
You have to train to succeed, and never give up on it.
CBC is your official broadcaster of the Toronto 2015 Pan Am Games, July 10th to the 26th, and follow the road to the Pan Am Games at cbc.ca.
That was cute. Oh boy, you're listening.
The National Research Council official time signal. The beginning of the long dash indicates exactly 11 o'clock Mountain Daylight Saving Time.
This is CBC News. It's partly cloudy and 17 degrees in Calgary at 11 o'clock. Good morning, I'm Ron Nicholson. A police news conference is just getting underway to discuss sexual assault charges against a man with connections to the young Canadians. CBC's Andrew Brown reports.
Police say the original complaint involved an inappropriate relationship between a teenager and a person in authority with the young Canadian. The group regularly performs during the Stanley Grandstand show. Officers expanded their investigation and police say several victims have come forward.
Good boy.
Were between the ages of 15 and 19 at the time of the alleged incidents. 52-year-old Philip Kirima is charged with 3 counts of child pornography, 2 counts of sexual assault, 6 counts of child luring with a computer, and 2 counts of inciting sexual contact by a person in authority. Police say Kirima held several positions with the young Canadians for 36 years. He resigned at the beginning of the investigation. Andrew Brown, CBC News, Calgary. And CBC is covering the police news conference live on our website at cbc.ca/Calgary. Calgary police now have a better idea of what happened in a motorcycle collision that sent one man to hospital in critical condition. It happened yesterday around noon on westbound Bow Trail at 45th Street. Police say the driver of the car made a left-hand turn into the path of the motorbike, collided with the front of the car, and the motorcycle driver was thrown over the hood. The driver of the car, a 63-year-old woman, did not receive any injuries, and police say speed and alcohol were not involved. Police are asking anyone who might have seen the crash to contact them. The Auditor General.
But CBC News has been told the numbers will blow minds, and it's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. Hannah Thibodeau, CBC News, Ottawa.
Statistics Canada says employment across the country increased by 59,000 jobs in May. The biggest employment gains were men aged 25 to 54. More jobs were created in Ontario, BC, and Nova Scotia. Alberta's employment rate stayed relatively stable. Rescue operations are underway following a 5.9 magnitude earthquake on the Malaysian part of Borneo Island. More than 130 climbers are trapped on one of the island's tallest mountains. Jennifer Pack has the details.
The tourists were at the peak of Mount Kinabalu to watch the spectacular sunrise at the height of 4,000 meters above sea level. Most of them were beginning their trek back down when the earthquake struck just after 7 a.m. The Sabah tourism minister, Masidi Manju, says the tremor was so
That takes
strong
brain power.
parts of the
That was
mountain
awesome.
and tumbled
You're
down,
doing so
through
good.
giant boulders,
Oh, the next time.
tourists and causing
Good
injuries.
boy, Blue.
However, the tourism minister
Good
says
boy,
bad weather
Blue.
is preventing their helicopters from reaching these people. He says the priority now is to send food, water, and warm clothing to those still stranded. There were no reports of major damages or injuries from the earthquake in other parts of Sabah.
Such a good boy.
CBC News, Kuala Lumpur.
A man who once served as one of Saddam Hussein's senior
Nice.
advisors has died in a prison hospital in Iraq. Tariq Aziz served as foreign minister during the first Gulf War and the U.S. invasion of Iraq in 2003. He surrendered to U.S. troops after the fall of Baghdad. An Iraqi court sentenced Aziz to death in 2010. Tariq Aziz was 79. In the forecast for Calgary today, a mix of sun and cloud, a chance of showers, a high of 22. Lethbridge, a mix of sun and cloud, a chance of showers and risk of a thunderstorm, and a high of 23. Red Deer, a mix of of sun and cloud, a chance of showers, a risk of a thunderstorm, and a high of 23 as well. And for Medicine Hat and the Cypress Hills, a mix of sun and cloud, a 60% chance of thunderstorms, and a high of 26. Right now in Calgary, it is partly cloudy and 18 degrees. This is CBC Radio 1.
Hi there, I'm Rachel Giza, and this is Q on CBC Radio 1, Sirius XM 169 from PRI Public Radio International. Coming up in a bit, film critics Nathan Rabin and Kyle Smith face off in a question that's plagued us for a quarter century. Is Nicolas Cage good or bad? But right now, after experiencing a lot of success with a New Zealand band called the Minchins, songwriter Ruben Nielsen gave up on his dream of playing music
Well, you're right beside me.
professionally.
We're friends.
He took to recording songs
That's better.
in
That's how
his
you're supposed to
basement, songs he put up
Right
online
beside
with
your
no
human.
expectations.
You stay there.
But fate and curious music bloggers would not let Ruben's songs be lost in cyberspace.
Oh, boy.